Daily cute clothes, cute drops, deltas, cute roofs. Where we go on, we go all. Cute patriots and friends, we are bring down the cabal. Sail on, sing it brown, you worldwide. Where we go on, we go all. Niggas like coke, crackers up like Q School. Bring the nearly rap fire, news G soft. News unlocks the map, and with G School Patriots. Trust the chief plan, E School worldwide, Q School Patriots. Remember, we go on, we go all.
Massive scale and using daycares as your cover-up, this court sentences you to 30 years in state prison.
Can you just deport me, please?
Absolutely not. You'll do your full sentence here and will be deported afterwards.
Somalian asking now to get deported. Finally.
American patriot.
Somalians ain't our people. They told them Somalians don't with us when they came over here. That's why they don't with us. And we don't with them. You notice we ain't trying to help them. And then look at all the money that they stole. Look at all that $9 billion and then put nothing in the community. It's just like George Floyd. His stupid family got $20 million and they didn't even build a community in the city. They just left with the money. God. George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Put all that shit on you. Whatever you film and put that shit out there. Because that's how it goes. When you don't with the community and help the community, you. They took that money and left. Now look at them. They all broke.
Yep.
They got tricked out of all that money.
$20 million.
Right now they offer $20 million. Come on, man. Quit playing with the game. All this is a farce.
This guy is really something. He tells the truth. They come here, they don't assimilate, and look what you get.
Starting to think Somalia is not sending us their best. Yeah. Who is letting their kids be watched by Somalian? Didn't anybody see Captain Phillips, that Tom Hanks movie? They're fucking pirates. We are taking over the ship and the child care center. We're doing both. That's how amazing this country is, though, if you think about it. You can come over here from Somalia. You don't even have to be here, you know, legally. You can just marry your brother. What? What an amazing country. Then you can open up a child care center, a Leering center. You don't even have to have kids. It's the best part. You just get the money.
Rob Schneider is just the best. What a great comedian.
Is this like a joke? No, this has got to be a joke. This has got to be a meme, right? Somali Americans awkward banana. It's a press conference. What the fuck is going on?
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be
I think she hit her head.
Somali and what it means to be American.
Yeah.
But it's like a cultural.
She definitely hit her head. She's saying a lot of nonsense.
You know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is,
look at his face.
Right. Nobody cares.
You can't take it. I just paid last month.
Payment didn't clear, and the bank called us. We gotta move it today.
This is my business plan. I run a daycare. I need this.
Talk to the lender, not us. Step back, please.
These memes, they keep exposing the Somalians, and I love it.
it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see, like, you know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American.
Such a moving speech.
I don't get one word what she's saying.
Also acknowledge there is fraud in Minnesota, but the fraud is already under investigation. In 2021, an organization in Minnesota, Feeding the Future, which is also what I call when I overeat, they said they stole $218 million in COVID relief funds. 82 people were indicted. 72 of them were virgins. No, sorry, 72 of them were Somali. Sorry, The founder of this organization was a woman named Amy Bach, which, as you can tell, is a very authentic Somali name. I don't know what part of Somalia she's from, but send her Bach, okay? It's not hard to accuse people in a group without being racist. Like saying the Somali community is committing fraud, that's racist and inaccurate. Saying some people in the Somali community are committing fraud because Somalis be pirated, that's still racist, but more accurate, okay? It's also really annoying that everyone now is calling them Somalian. It's Somali, okay?
I like Somalians. That sounds better to me.
Visit Minnesota, a land of beauty, where more than 10,000 sparkling lakes reflect endless blue skies. Just as memorable as the scenery are the people who call Minnesota home. Minnesotans embody a spirit of kindness and community that visitors feel instantly. If it's cultural diversity you're looking for, we have that too. From angry Somalis to angry lesbians, Minnesota has it all. But Minnesota is so much more. Enjoy winter sports, we have hockey and skiing, and bashing law enforcement SUVs with a metal pipe. Fun. Looking to go out in the evening for entertainment? Check out Minnesota's vibrant music scene. Or maybe an exciting fireworks show is more your speed. And of course, if you just want to spend hours practicing saying someone's name, you've come to the right place. What about the food? Shall we talk about the food? Okay, let's not talk about the food. But if it's cultural enrichment you're after, you can visit one of our world-class leering centers to leer even more about the fine state of Minnesota. So, if you've always wanted to visit Somalia, but are concerned it's too far away, come to Minnesota. Minnesota, because Somalia is too far away.
Minnesota, more like Somalia 2.0.
It's like the woman today. You saw the video today that went viral?
Bananas with rice.
And the girl, she's got a Band-Aid on her head. She's got a burqa on. And they go, oh, what's it like being Somalian in America? She goes, look, everybody thinks it's just bananas and rice. Wait, what the f? Like, she said something, she gave me a gift of like, I didn't even know I could be that racist to you guys. Bananas and rice. These motherfuckers really are the Mexicans of Africa. That's a good joke. You guys are pussies.
That was a good joke, I agree. Exactly that kind of comedy.
The Somalis just held a press conference to prove they're the best and the brightest, and not just here to be pirates and graduate from the Quality Leering Center. This is who they sent out to make that point. Yeah, that lady is definitely not only a graduate of the Quality Leering Center, she's the valedictorian of the Quality Leering Center. You tried to prove that Somalis are not low IQ. They are, in fact. It's not my numbers. I didn't make them up. This is because of cultural choices that are made in Somalia. But more importantly, every single time that they try and do one of these little press conferences and claim to be victims, they end up blowing up their own argument.
These Somalians, they should keep making press conferences so we can have more things to laugh at.
See, even this guy's Somalian, he gets it. Are you actually? You're not. You're Eritrean or something. Yeah. There we go. Dude, I'm racist. No, I know my... I know what I like and I know what I don't like. Eritrea is like, it's like the friendly neighbor to the north in Somalia. They're like the Canada of
Even the guy getting roasted likes the joke.
No, we don't do pirate. We do slave, but no pirate. There was an article right after the Somali statements by Trump, and it said that people, Somalians in Minnesota, are living in fear. And I was like, oh, so are the ones in Somalia. And I thought to myself, what is scarier? Being in Somalia or being in America knowing that you're going back to Somalia?
Oh man, that was good. This guy's good. This guy's really good.
That combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean.
Oh, we're not gonna get what you mean. Well, what if you mean is bananas and rice? Then yes, we got it.
And that sounds terrible to me. I wouldn't eat that.
Hello, hi. My name is Nazir Ahmed. I am 23 years old from St. Paul, and I encountered ICE. I was detained, or let me rephrase it as I was kidnapped by ICE. I was kidnapped from ICE from my home. They came here, right there where I'm pointing at.
What? That makes no sense. It's not kidnapping. It's called deporting.
Minneapolis, Minnesota is falling apart. All right, Somalia 2 is having a terrible day. ICE agents are having their fingers bitten off. ICE is fighting back. Riots are happening. Stores are closing down. Explosions are everywhere. And I'm very excited to say that this video will change your opinion on the entire situation. If you're sort of on the edge of what's going on, this will radicalize the shit out of you. All right, I have someone in my chat just said she looks retarded. She is retarded. She has an IQ of sub 70, which is retarded according to the United States. So that's pretty good, honestly. That's pretty great. So anyway, so this is a Somali who wanted to talk about how the Somali community is actually really good. And then I'm going to show you how, in my opinion, all of the ICE situations that's going on, all of the fighting, all the beefs, all the murdering, all the killing that's going on in all of this area in Minnesota is a gigantic hoax that the government in Minneapolis is using to literally try and distract from the fact that they allegedly stole an election and stole $18 billion.
Wow, I've never thought of that. That totally makes sense now.
Hello, Peasants. I'm the Drinker of the House, and I'm here to tell you about the future of Minnesota childcare. Welcome to the Quality Learning Center.
So like 6 years ago, I was just like a bartender who graduated with like honors from the Quality Learning Center. And like now, I'm a congresswoman who can like totally count all the way to 11.
At Quality Learning Center, your unborn kids get the care that they deserve. Here in Minnesota, our motto is, why wait until your kids are born? Sign them up for an education today. Y'all finna learn everything up in here. I live at 2 + 2 equal whatever feels right, y'all. This place made me who I am today, fam. It's where I got my education. Here at Quality Learning Center, you'll find invisible juice boxes, phantom crayons, ghostly nightmares, non-existent circle time rugs, and an attendance sheet with nobody's name on it.
With no kids in the classroom, there's so much more room for activities. Look at what I can do!
We accept prenatal enrollments. Never too early to secure your spot in this thriving educational paradise.
The Quality Learning Center, best place to enroll your kids.
I'm here for the red 2-seater.
You're joking. That's my car.
It was. Paperwork says it's 3 months behind.
I paid yesterday.
You can call the bank, but the keys have to come with me. Winch engaged.
Take it then. I'll get it back.
The Somalis have the nicest cars, I swear.
Hello, I'm with the Herald. I was told this daycare was packed this morning, but it's just me and a panda with a juice box.
You need to leave, sir.
Ma'am, I'm just trying to figure out what happened. Where are the kids?
Not your business.
Pretty accurate.
Welcome to DeAndre's Not Somalian Daycare Services. Not Somalian. Somalian? No. And these Somalians wrote the government off for $9 billion with a B, bitch. That's Somalian. I'm just trying to get $5,000 plus gratuity. These motherfuckers didn't even have kids. I got 6 ugly-ass kids of my own. Come subsidize these motherfuckers. Oh, you don't want to give me a subsidiary because I'm black? Or is it because I don't deal with doo-doo?
DeAndre, Somalians are black too.
Man, what the fuck you talking about, man? Somalians is pirates. I seen Pirates of the Caribbean. It ain't nothing but a bunch of stinky white people with dreadlocks and skirts. Yarr! Man, I was getting $5,000 plus gratuity per child, and the Somalians went crazy. Hit them people for billions. Motherfucker, you supposed to be inconspicuous. Ain't nothing inconspicuous about $1 billion damn dollars.
DeAndre, who taught you inconspicuous?
Hey, man, you fat-ass boy. We teach kids things they really need to know. How to read, how to count, how to know when a motherfucker lie in your goddamn face. You know when they telling a lie? They'll have a big hat, an eye patch, a parrot on their shoulder. Don't trust those motherfuckers. Man, how the government get scammed by a bitch with a peg?
This is so good.
That was funny. Awesome.
Yeah, we back. We're just getting a little glitchy. I'm gonna hop out, come right back in. Y'all say hello. I'll be right back.
Awesome. Hi, Melzie. Good to see you. Hi, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Q School. Today's date, Thursday, the 29th of January, the day before the possible government shutdown, and of course, the brand new Melania movie. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope you're excited about all the breaking news. There's a lot of breaking news, a lot of beautiful things happening, and the clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock.
How you doing, brother? Yeah, TikTok. We got Melania coming out. We got, of course, the silver certificate things happened with the banks recently as well. The shutdown. The shutdown's gonna possibly come. That'd be at the end of the month, Tim, or the 30th, or what's the date?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, so 30th, huh?
Mm-hmm. We'll find out tomorrow, you guys. Good time to buy the dips, guys. Gold, silver, and crypto took a massive dive this morning. I guess because Melania rang the bell yesterday. Everything was green today. I don't know who rang the fucking bell, but it turned red pretty fast. So anyway, everything's down. Good time to slide in there, with your future treasury accounts, your future investments. But other than that, we've got, late last night, we broke the news during Q School, but the FBI raided the Fulton County Election Center. They've got everything, folks. They have it all, and the Dems are really panicking right now. They're losing their minds. So is mainstream media, the fake news. So I think that's just the first of many to come. We've got Maricopa County could be one. It's in the Q drops, obviously. We've talked about that one, Kyle Melzie, a lot of shenanigans over there with Runback and all the corruption and everything with the 2020 election. So yeah, the clock is ticking. It's a great title. There's 9 Q drops with the clock is ticking, Kyle. I don't know. I just did a little research before we went live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 9 drops we can show on the board in regards to the title that you and Melzie came up with today. But other than that, I'm excited. What's new with you guys?
Well,
yeah, we're excited to get into what's happening. I was excited to see yesterday about Fulton County, like while we were live, and it was just kind of really quantum, because I think Kyle was talking about something with Fulton County, and I was looking and reading like, oh my gosh, arrests are happening, so like kind of right as he said it. And so it was really a profound moment.
But you read Fulton County right when I said it. We've had a few other people mention that too. They were doing a dig or reading, and that's been getting the quantum syncing up, like saying an exact word that somebody's reading like somewhere else. We've kind of been having that, so that's interesting. That was going on there. We did the gematria on that too with the Fulton County raid. Shout out Jay Rosemary, and thank you Ben Dinkley and Jay Rosemary for joining yesterday. Hopefully y'all got to see that. Excited to see their podcast coming out soon too. So so I think it's a lot of the same stuff coming on. It's kind of a waiting period. We're in this waiting period, so we'll cover kind of the things we've been talking about a little bit. Look into the future here, and maybe we'll have a shorter show. That'd be nice to do that. So anyways, let's go to that little clip on the Fulton County thing. I haven't seen it. Y'all let us know in the chat if the connection's doing okay. I'm gonna go through Telegram. Stuff's been glitchy lately. I don't know. I've heard other people having glitches, so we'll see how this plays out. Let's see this about Fulton County that Tim shared with us here.
According to a spokesperson who spoke with the Associated Press.
Staring at this boxy building in Fulton County, which is the county that's the epicenter of the 2020 election dispute that Donald Trump claims that he won. And I've watched several FBI agents walk in, walk out. I just saw Fulton Clerk Shay Alexander and Fulton County Commission Chair Rob Pitts walk in. They wouldn't comment to a group of reporters as they walked in, but Shay Alexander has talked to one of my colleagues, and again, she's the clerk of the Fulton County court system, who says that the FBI was, I'm quoting here, FBI agents are here to get the 2020 ballots. So she says on the record that they are here to look at 2020 ballots.
Do they store 2020 ballots 4 years later? Would they still have those, Greg?
That is the key question, and it's somewhat in dispute. Where they are stored, if they're stored at all, if they're stored here at this giant kind of warehouse building in South Fulton, or if they're stored at one of the other Fulton County sites, either in downtown Atlanta or elsewhere in this giant county. It's a very populous county of more than 1 million people, the largest and most populous county in Georgia, a Democratic stronghold. So there's a question of whether or not the FBI can even get what they're seeking here, which is, again, what the clerk says, those 2020 ballots, if they're even here inside this building.
The Justice Department has sued 24 states for their voter data, Dave. And Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, has refused to turn over that information. What's the DOJ's rationale for wanting the data? Have they been successful in any of the suits?
they've only reached settlements with red states, but the data they want is from the blue states. It's from states that Trump lost. They want to be able to go into court after the next election and say, here, we have the real voter file. We have evidence of fraud. It's one thing when Kash Patel as a private citizen says it, or Dinesh D'Souza as a private citizen says it. It's another thing when the Department of Justice goes into a federal court and says it and has the voter file. And that's why the states are pushing back. They said, we see where this is going. It's not going to a very good place. And in the end, I don't think they're going to get the voter files. You saw what happened in Minnesota, where there was an attempt to mediate the ICE dispute to say, we'll pull back the ICE officers if you give us your voter file. What does it have to do with ICE? But it shows you how important this issue is to the Trump administration.
Not just looking backward, but also potentially looking forward as well as we think about the midterms in 2026 and the presidential election in 2028, no?
Correct. That's what this is about. It's about going to court to challenge votes in future elections. It's one thing to say this proves fraud in past elections. They're really concerned about future elections. And so that's why it's so important. And Mark Elias is an amazing job fighting back against it. But we should all be warned about this because this is the next step, the next front in election fraud. Trying to steal an election is by trying to go to court to try to say that this vote is improper, this vote's improper, and we have the voter database to prove it, when really there's been no evidence of widespread voter fraud in any of these elections. And so we got to be vigilant about this.
Lisa, what are they looking for? It's not clear what they're looking for. They could be looking for some of the information that they're seeking through some of the cases that the Department of Justice has filed against various states, and that includes voter roll information that we might think of as traditionally being housed in a state Secretary of State's office. At least that's what they've been looking for through all of this litigation they've filed and largely have failed to win. They had a lawsuit against the state of Oregon that was just dismissed the other day. They had a lawsuit against the state of Georgia that was dismissed largely on technical grounds, that they filed it in the wrong place. But if they are looking for data about the 2020 election specifically from Fulton County, it appears that they are looking for data that would prove Donald Trump's central thesis, that there were votes for him that were not counted and or false votes for the other candidate that were. Remind me what was actually investigated in 2020 and what happened when the administration, Rudy Giuliani, et cetera, went to court on this.
Well, look, they tried to prove that there was voter fraud specifically at the State Farm Arena, which was sort of a repository of counting of Fulton County ballots. There were allegations that there were suitcases full of ballots that were being exchanged, allegations that because of a burst pipe that allowed people to commit widespread voter fraud. None of those allegations proved to be true. And you'll, of course, remember that one of the central allegations was that votes were somehow exchanged on a thumb drive involving Fulton County election workers Ruby Freeman and her daughter, Moss. They then won a defamation case against Rudy Giuliani for advancing the notion that they were involved in some sort of widespread voter fraud that never was found or verified by multiple investigations, be they congressional or from the state, from the Secretary of State's office. Even the Attorney General of the state, Chris Carr, who was a fairly resolute Republican, said, look, I wanted to win as much as anyone, but we just didn't have any evidence that happened.
States run their own elections. By the way, we're seeing agents walk out of the building right now. States run their own elections. That is the purview of the states under our Constitution. Is it legal for the FBI to enter these offices and to seize ballots?
You know, what I would say is we don't know why the FBI is there. And I would urge some caution until we have more information about what the search warrant is about and specifically what crimes it alleges the FBI and DOJ have reasonable cause to believe were committed. Until unless we know that, I can't answer that question. As
we have it all.
But on the basis
yes, sir.
of that information that's public so far, I am hard-pressed to understand why a federal judge would sign a search warrant, let alone why a normally functioning Department of Justice would seek one, Katie.
Because we want justice.
That's
we
right.
Want justice and accountability.
TikTok. Yeah, Steve Bannon did he covered it really well last night at 5:00, and he had the beautiful patriots that have been fighting the fight for five plus years now. And originally, what happened was one of our patriots within the election committee and all that, as they were trying to expose it, and of course the corrupt judges wouldn't have anything to do with it. But there was one judge that actually put a judgment against the against anybody getting rid of any evidence. So this one judge put a total blockade on them trying to remove any documents.
Oh, nice.
Any ballots, anything. And now, 5 years later, I mean, now that's where the action came yesterday with the FBI, right? They were able to go in and raid it all and get it all. So
yeah, it's a new facility. I read that yesterday. I was confusing on the one article. 2023, they built this new facility. So Tim's saying another judge made them keep those files for that.
Guess when he did it? Guess when this judge made the judgment?
On the 17th?
It was on January 6th of 2021.
Oh, right then and there. That's
what happened on January 6th?
We had a real insurrection. They tried to steal, and they did then.
That's when the original judge actually put together that order saying, hey, okay, right now, nobody can figure out what's going on. But in the meantime, we're going to put everything on hold, blockade anybody from getting into any records, files, what have you. And we'll look at it at a later date. And here we are.
Here we are. It's been a while.
So she said that it was like for future elections. Do you think?
Well, that was CNN's like.
I know. I'm just looking.
But sure,
it's an interesting perspective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're in full blown panic. I mean, they're trying to spin it, but they can't spin this, right? And that's what the fake news does, right? And the bottom line is that we have all the records, we have the evidence, right? And these people are going to go down. I mean, Raffensperger, all of the corrupt election board personnel, even the heads of the Republican heads of the election, they wouldn't let them into the building yesterday. Meanwhile, the Democrats were allowed to go into that building yesterday while the raid was taking place. That's how corrupt this thing is. So,
I mean, at this point too, I mean, I just gonna be honest, like, I'm just so sick of this stuff. Like, we're at that point, we gotta be at the precipice because, there was something. Oh, I'm tired of hearing about it. We've been fucking hearing about it for 5 years. I was trying to find a little Mr. Truth Bomb clip. Let me just show Mr. Truth Bomb. We show him all the time. We should show him more. But if y'all go to his channel on Rumble, Mr. Truth Bomb with a number 2 in front of it. He lost his original Rumble somehow. I think he got it back. So either one, I think. But Mr. Truth Bomb 2 on Rumble specifically. And then the whole election deception series. Look, there's at least 13 parts, an hour to 2 hours each part.
Yeah.
Truly mind-boggling. Here's election deception part 1. I kind of want to play just a couple minutes of this, Tim. I just don't know where a good spot would be.
No, this is good. And then, brothers and sisters, this is good homework. Go into Mr. Truth Bomb 2 on Rumble and go watch those, because sometimes you have to look in the past in order to see the future, because it's all unfolding before our very eyes. All this stuff that happened back then is now going to come into the light. Finally.
Yeah. Hold on there, Kyle.
Hang on, she said. Hang on. I was like, all right. So, we'll show the a couple minutes. Mr. Truth Bomb. I mean, such a well done work, guys. Too. Like, I don't know. I guess we haven't shown it a ton here. Make sure. Always hit like on Q School if you haven't already. Oh, I guess I already voted. Okay.
And your computer, have you cleared the cache out of your computer, because it's coming in all crackly when you're playing.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if that's internet, but that's a good idea. I might have to clear stuff. I use the Telegram web base. I don't think you have to clear the cache on the web based one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But
it's just lately, about the last week or so, every time you play.
I know. I hear it crackly too on the recording. It kind of sucks. So y'all let us know if the sound's not right. We'll try to fix it. At least let us know. Sometimes we don't know.
And then Cindy put into the arrest warrants, and I think
okay,
and to Diggers.
Okay. So, anyways, with Mr. Truth Bomb.
Arrest warrants, huh? What?
The warrant for Fulton County.
So, Mr. Truth Bomb's like a movie style. This is what it looks like, sounds like.
This video is for adults only. I've had 5 YouTube channels terminated since I started this around a year ago. I got up close to 7,000 subs on my last channel in 5 weeks, with each video getting thousands of views. I've also been banned from Twitter, and also recently had my Rumble account deleted with 4,000 subs due to the content being presented. I'd recommend checking out my other videos, as they all link up as part of a series. All links of where to find the Patriots featured in them will be in the description, as will be where to find me at other locations also. To start watching my videos, I would recommend...
Here's some of the ones he suggested. Make sure y'all check them out just to show you like how smooth all these are. There's all this. You want to take a screenshot of that. There's Mr. Truth Bomb. Thank you, Mr. Truth Bomb, for all your hard work over the years. Incredible work here. And then I think he's got a little intro here, but let's go right to where Trump's talking. And he shows just tons of evidence as well, too. But I will start right here.
You've seen Trump always win with this time and time again. Let me ask you a question. If you set a trap, a sting operation, do you then go in and arrest everyone before the crime is committed, or do you let them hang themselves first?
And doing a lot of bad things, and we have a lot of information coming and litigation that you'll see that will shake even you people up, and you've seen it all. The officials overseeing the counting in Pennsylvania and other key states are all part of a corrupt Democrat machine.
So we all knew he would do this.
Playbook known! Same playbook!
My grandpa was named Ambrose Finnegan. At the kitchen table I learned. I used to say, Joey, nobody's better than you, but you're no better than anybody else. Maybe it's the Scranton in me. I got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. Worried about whether I can make next month's mortgage payment. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. That's why it is what it is. He is who he is. You know, remember when he went on, he decided he was going to convince Bob Woodward what a smart guy he was. So he went on, yeah, smart guy. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure, isolate, and punish China. Folks, true international effort to pressure, isolate, and punish China. Donald Trump thinks health care. I'm sick and tired of smart guys. I gotta admit.
Push better, Cam.
It's low within our power. It's low within our power. Well, we're getting there, man. Hang on. Hang on.
Oh my God.
To send every single person qualified to community college free. To community college free. If I keep going, you're going to freeze your fingers off. It wasn't. Donald Trump had to deliver on a damn thing he said he'd do. True international effort to pressure, isolate, and punish China.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
Well, maybe let's go a little bit. He'll actually show the evidence. Let's go on this just for a minute. We'll go full screen here.
Thanks. I needed a good laugh today.
I know, right?
81 million votes. My ass. That's the best red pill I've ever seen in my life.
Red Pill Biden. That's his name from now on out. We've had Joe Biden with the BIDAN, BYDEN, Biden, but now he's Red Pill Biden. But we're gonna. That's how awesome Mr. Truth Bombs are. It's like a movie. You guys can turn this on for a movie and you're entertained left or right, like, because they'll paint the narrative. Even in the beginning, the Great American Patriot, it shows the guy like, you could tell he's like an anti-Trumper. We gotta vote, all this stuff. So it's really well done. But now I think this is the actual segment where he's showing some of the evidence. So we'll play it for a couple minutes here just to show you guys. If you haven't seen it, we did a whole countrywide tour, each state by state, demonstrating all the election fraud, which was overwhelming. In fact, we had a military officer who called himself a white hat hacker and talking about how easy it is to hack into our voting system. Yeah. It's truly disgusting. Let's check this out for a couple minutes.
Whether he knows it yet or not, he will be leaving. Just because he might not want to move out of the White House doesn't mean we won't have an inauguration ceremony to inaugurate a duly elected president of the United States.
Several months later.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech.
This machine is rigged!
If you're not corrupt, you wouldn't actually do
The presidency literally hangs in the balance. And what the fundamental principle is here is that we want to be able to make sure that the counting that occurs and that the results that happen can be respected by every American voter across this land and truly across the world. If you're not allowed in to see the process, both sides and all of you in the media, so that there is transparency, so that there's meaningful observing of these ballots, that calls into question what those results will be. The idea in this country, the idea in America, that we would somehow reduce or limit the ability to have basic insurance that a ballot is a legal ballot, that a ballot is an acceptable ballot, that the person who voted, that we took minimal steps to make sure that there was a signature match, for instance. Those types of guarantees need to be in the process. And so we have to understand that what's going on in Nevada impacts what's going on all across this country, which is the American people want to have confidence in the results that are coming out of Nevada. That will occur when we can make a case why every ballot is an acceptable, compliant ballot.
Are you guys collecting ballots? Yeah. I thought they collected them all. I just want to document.
No, we're still collecting.
How much? Wait, but how come they already called the state?
Because these are mail-in ballots.
Are there a ton in there?
Yeah.
All right, are you collecting from a lot of places? Yeah. All right, I'll just document. Thank you guys. Are you guys official election guys?
All right, so it goes on and on. You got covering the windows. You got freaking that was California. California got called right away. They didn't basically count the votes, and then 2024. I've mentioned many times California was still counting votes into December. Yeah, if that isn't weird or rigged. I want to show you a cool thing I found, Tim. We've done all that. We've talked about the searches. Let's bring it up because I want to get some solicit or encourage some of the anons to help us on the digs here. Let me go to the Q board here, the research board, as Tim always says. Don't look at that one. That kind of shows the answer. I got to make a new one here. So on QAG, I haven't showed it too often. And guys, anytime you're here, there's a little bit more advanced search. But if you go and hit this question mark, again, at the beginning of the home page, there's a little, it's kind of small, honestly, this question mark scene. Click that button. You guys up on the side. Okay. And then it'll explain to you how to use the search engine. Okay. And how to look up the Twitters and the True Socials. And then you'll get Zero Delta search engine system. Again, the regular search here using the keywords. And one that's been interesting I've used over the years is this and function. I started using it because it was easier to find Q jobs that we knew kind of the keywords, but we weren't, with all the syntax and the parentheses and the brackets and jackets, sometimes you can't find these drops. So this and thing works really well. Okay, now let's go full circle on these Q proofs. This is part of reading the map. So I'm going to kind of cover this just for a second on briefly that Tim, and I on Q School were searching different terms all the time, regularly, every single day. It was part of an exercise. And it was so beautiful how they would all weave together or ask someone a favorite number or favorite Q drop or say a word and we'd search it and it just always would come together. It's magical, right? So Tim, though, was the really first one to kind of really cracked it, understood it. He searched less than 10 and then 10 like this. And this is when we got that confirmation. This is a big moment. And we see it right here, less than 10, 9 Q drops. So shout out Tim17 for on that dig. And then when negative 48 was around, I'd mentioned that. I said it's not less than 10 on the Q team. It's less than 10 drops can confirm the map. That was, he said, yeah, but it doesn't mean that's right, but that's what he said. We'll see. And then some other ones then now like 17, right? So we've talked about that, like, is it the storm? I think it's the storm, right? The storm. There you go. Please seeing this is a major part of the map, guys, and still nobody hardly talks about. Y'all, please keep sharing this information. It's for everyone to know. Y'all want to shout us out for finding it. We appreciate that too. But here's 17. Okay, Q drops on these terms. We have a whole list of them. Okay? And then we've been teaching that, and we get to our Q school and the Q team confirmations. Absolute storm. Absolute storm was the Absolute Resolve was the name of the mission for Maduro, and it wound up being a double 17 Q drops with Absolute. This is on QAG. Okay, there's gonna be different numbers on Q alert sometimes. QAG, it's either Q said it or the Anon said it and they reply directly to them. Q alert's a little bit different. I think the numbers are still important, but there's also other ones like, which were interesting. You have more than this long sentence, that whole entire sentence comes out to 45 Q drops. So this is also part of the map because these ones pop up. So because I've had some other ones that came up. For instance, he said we unlocked the box after he got elected, when he was elected for the 40 number 47, and there's 47 Q drops with unlock and we have the box. So anyways, 45 Q drops. There's also ask yourself. 45 Q drops. Ask yourself, Cindy, if you're there, we got to catalog all these. We got the 17s, the 45s. There are clearly some. Ask yourself. And then I found an interesting one more recently, targeted. I think this was, I don't know if this was daytime Q school. I think it was the evening one. Check that one out. Remember this? So you guys might not remember that. Look at that. Targeted 45 Q drops them. And now I got a brand new one, guys. I was looking for some just interesting Q drops. And believe it or not, this one, you're going to wait till you see this one. I did 2 different words. And the 2 words I decided to use were election and rig, because I was looking first, I was going to do election and protect or safe, but I was like, election and rig, and check it out. Election and rig, 45 drops with the combo in there. That's fucking crazy to me. Excuse the language.
Wow.
So yeah, election and rig, 45 Q drops. And there's the very first one, Q drop 14.
Oh.
It's all about. 36 is next, military intelligence. So pretty wild with that, with the election stuff.
Nice find, brother. Nice find.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
45 watching too.
Yeah, and we got a shout out Justin, just in a bubble. Thanks for all your digs, man. I wanna prop you up some more too, doing some great job. And then I don't think we even really fully recognize how much of the Q school Q proof we had yesterday, you all. That Department of War, Tim. Again, I had to read the comments afterwards. Some of the things you found.
Department of Election, you mean?
No, Department of Elections, DOE. But
yeah,
on the show yesterday, we came across the page of Department of War CTO. So let me just bring this up. We'll do it live. I'm gonna show a couple things here. Shout out to everybody and I have the notes here too, by the way. All you guys. So maybe shout out some of the friends here. But let me find the Department of War CTO though.
Oh, I see, Melzie, you posted the warrant for Fulton County. That's awesome. Maybe we'll cruise through that today too.
Yeah, that's from Cindy. Cindy dropped that.
Good job, Cindy. Yeah, I know Steve Bannon. They read it last night. They were talking about it on the War Room last night.
Okay, so check this out here, Timbo. So we got this on the screen. You got some on the side now. Okay. So yesterday, I don't know how much these guys are dropping, but we have the Department of War CTO, and I'm like, what the heck is this CTO? And shout out to Jedi Nick and Cindy for the digs, and I got some more coming for you guys too, but it was CTO, because it's not even listed in the bio too, so I didn't really recognize it. And then shout out to all the diggers in the chat later. Is CTO is Chief Technology Officer, and I wrote down the notes. Maybe I took a picture of it, what Cindy and them kind of shared. But it's operational systems, and in particular technology operations, which would be literally the Q team, guys, is what these people do. I might have to find the screenshot, or if Cindy or Jedi Knickknack are here to reshare kind of what this department, the Chief Technology Officer specifically did. But again, it's basically technology operations, which would straight up be the Q operation. And let's see, light speed.
38.6 followers, 38.6, 3 plus 8 plus 6 is 17. Just saying.
Ooh, where did you see that one?
Followers.
Oh, followers. There you go. Look at that. Look at that autist buddy there. 17, 3 plus 8 plus 6, 17. We shared this one again. Light speed lethality, directed energy dominance. So this is another government Twitter account that's making some interesting posts for sure, connect to the Q drops. So let's see here. They might even have some new ones if we're watching live. But where was that one? Yes, it was just yesterday. So let me scroll and see if I can find it. Here it is right here. Okay, so check this out. This is what it was. January 28th, guys. Just want to reiterate and shout out to all the diggers and stuff just in a bubble, also this stuff. So there is nothing so likely to produce peace as to be well prepared to meet the enemy. General George Washington, should I call him right before that? Interesting that there's some flying objects added into this picture here from the Department of War and the Chief Technology Officer personnel. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to our the diggers board because we kind of ended on it. Here was again Rev DQ, looks like their dig. Q job 3800. It was all the way back then. I think I still have that board up. Let me go over here to the board. Okay, so full circle. I know it's kind of a long decode here, guys, but Q drop 14, the first time we see this Washington crossing the Delaware image, but it's this kind of yellow highlighted image, honestly. Not till Q drop 456, which is also the number above the movies playing, movie 456, is the high definition clear picture of Washington crossing the Delaware. This date was Christmas Eve. That's why I still think it's Christmas Eve that they crossed the Delaware on like Christmas morning, but Enoch said +1. So then this one's October 31st, Halloween trick or treat. Then the next one this is 2017, guys. It's 3 years later or I guess two and a half. It was right here, 2020, Q drop 3800. It was January 28th. So yesterday's Delta is freaking Washington crossing the Delaware, and the Q is basically making this a proof themselves, saying Durham boats. Look at Anon's found the subtle hint dropped in the beginning. Think Durham start, think Q start. You have more than you know. 45 Q drops. Now you guys know that. And then we had the picture with again the right here that the Department of War CTO shared with George Washington, but they added flying object there, but it's that same image from 3800 or Q drop 456
on the same day as the Delta Durham boat.
On the same day as the Delta. That's the key part with that image, guys, with that image. And then shout out to Mag5, aka Susan Calloway. We're going to do a little gematria Twix for you. And y'all, wait, you see this one, Tim? It's CTO is Chief Technology. Hopefully I know how to spell technology. Officer is 217 Q school timestamp
with a 98. 9 plus 8 is 17 at the
17,
end.
Double 17. Let's go. And shout out Mag 5.
No, that reverse is 3 plus 7 plus 7 is another 17.
Nice, good one. 3 plus 7, 17 there. 98. There we go.
Wow.
Chief Technology Officer. Pretty cool. That was even a bigger proof. And we kind of glossed it at the very end. So, the same day as the Delta. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
3 17s would be 51. Q drop 51 is One Nation Under God.
You know what's crazy is I saw it. Where did I see that guy? Let me zoom out and see if I can have it. Did he pop up on the ones I thought it did?
Yeah, One Nation Under God was in one of your digs you were just doing.
Yeah. Where did it go? It must have
Q drop 12 and 51 were side by side. I think it was Q drop 12 and 51.
Yeah, let me see here. I'll share this one.
I'm trying to think what you searched.
I know. I think it's gone now. Targeted. Let me see. I'm not sure.
Oh, over the target. You're muted, Kyle.
Is it back?
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's what did Cindy post? Let's do Cindy's dig here. I don't want to get lost on the Q drop. We'll come back to it. But anyways, let's build that map. Actually, one more connection with the connections to the drops. Let me do this before I forget. So we show the absolute resolve, again, targeted 45 Q drops. Ask yourself 45 Q drops. You have more than you know, 45 Q drops. That's an interesting one then because there's so much in there. So let me go to Q drop 225 is where we found us collectively, and again, decoding this deeper. Q drop 225, 123. That number keeps popping up to us. Anon says, who knows where the bodies are buried? But then right here, Q responds, expand further, make the connection, map currently has 43 confirmed connections. So that's when then I searched the word confirmed first, and I always forget. Oh, you know what I think it is, Tim? Holy cow. Check it out, Tim. Confirmed is 51 Q drops.
Oh, wow.
So confirmed, and I'm showing this Q drop because this is where you figure out the map, or I did, or we figured out together, and Tim doing his searches. Map currently has 43, so confirmed is 51 drops, but when you do connections, who knows this one? Connections comes out to 17 Q drops. So that's where it is telling us the map. And nobody talks about this still. This is the actual, that's the confirmed connections. It's a connection to the 17 Q drops. So there's 43 of them, I believe. I've been saying I feel like there's 43 17 searches, but maybe it's hard to say because there's several 45s. What's another number? I mean, we also have some 18s in there too. So I don't know, but I just want to keep reiterating this. And then we got that major Q proof by the operation that snatched up Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela was called Absolute Resolve. And each one, absolute 17 Q drops, resolve. And we did that literally on the show a couple times in the months prior to like teach you guys. And Cindy found a couple for us. One really wild one is vote with the dash. You have to put the dash in there. Let me show that one last thing, and then
No, that's a big one too. And then the double 17 hit from that Maduro special operations. Double 17 is 34 Q clearance Patriot.
Yes, exactly. And we were showing that Q drop yesterday. So here's vote. Look, if you put vote in on QEG, it's 142 drops. And again, all the biggest things Q talked about is all playing out today. And it's been playing out the last 10 years straight, pretty much. So vote has 142 Q drops. So wait a minute. Why do we have vote on there? Well, it's actually vote with a dash. Again, shout out to Tim 17. Find this one. Don't know how you found that. So we got our work cut out to find all of them. But you do vote with a dash because the dash matters. And it goes to 17 Q drops. Vote with a dash at the end of it. So boom. Dash matters. Boom. Just for the anons there. Let's even do this Q drop, and then we'll check in with the digs, and I'll let somebody else talk here for a moment. But Q drop 34, 14. You want to read? This one's kind of tricky. 14, 7-11. Only anons can fully appreciate the continued validations and confirmations through covert series of mathematically impossible coincidences means in order to maintain structural integrity. What is structural integrity? That's us holding the line, realizing we are trusting the plan. And I don't know what video I watched it, but it was somebody that was like, if Q team, it was -48. He's like, if Q team wanted to be over, they would have done that already. We could just drop something on the board, boom, proof. But the fact they haven't means that we're going right according to plan. Okay, so maintain structural integrity from getting these proofs. So is that from yesterday? All these things. Continued validations. We have the Department of freaking War, the Chief Technology Officer, dropping General George Washington, the actual image from the Q drops on the same day that it's a Delta from freaking 2 years ago. Excuse me, not 2 years ago. The same day as a January 28th Delta, right here, January 28th, 2020, Q drop 3800 is Washington crossing the Delaware. And that's them confirming that how this whole plan's going as we expected with Durham in the Q start. And they shared that post. So we go back to the Q drop, the 3414 through covert, right? Nobody else and their mother knows that that's a Q confirmation by the Chief Technology Officer of the Department of War dropping General George Washington on January 28th of all days, right?
I did a search on Q alerts with covert. I got 16 drops. Missing one.
So close. +1 there, covert. And then the impossible coincidences, guys, is on that date. You know, again, that happened on Christmas. So why is the Department of War sharing that image happily on January 28th? And in Q drop did that January 28th, 3800, Q drop 3800. So that's what this is all about. So hope that gives y'all some extra resolve and excitement that, you know, the plan's going according to plan. Just keep moving forward, keep sharing the truth, keep asking questions, keep slapping the silliness out of these retards, you know, and help them wake up the best we can by just
Impossible has 18.
Oh,
I'm checking all the words in that.
Is that Q alerts? Because I thought I had 49 impossible Q alerts. You must put a dash. Okay, you did a dash with that one, or a space, because let me show this. because we negative 48, and some people say come back positive 49. So I was on some autistic one here time 2, and look at impossible on QEG, 49 impossible Q drops. So I like that's interesting. You just looked that one up, Tim. 16 though with the dash. That one's wild. Okay, let's do the Cindy thing, and you need to hold up a sign when you get my attention. What's going on? What you want to do? Okay, where's the digs at from Cindy? What's the latest?
It's in Diggers.
Okay.
Time for another covfefe.
Covfefe. Okay, which one is it? Oh, the warrants for Fulton County?
I think so.
Okay, let's see what this FBI. This is again the video we played. Some updating here. FBI is serving sealed warrants. That's a sealed indictment. Sealed warrant. Well, sealed warrants. Same thing. Seattle Elections Office in Fulton County. FBI sees 2020 election ballots. There, we've already talked about that. Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Arizona were the top 3 offenders for election fraud. President Trump has been speaking more than ever before. 2020 election was rigged and stolen. Justice is coming. Okay, so here's some of the warrants. Thank you, Cindy, for digging these up here. Search warrant, United States District Court. To Special Agent Hugh Raymond Evans, any authorized officer, United States. They haven't been made before me. Special Agent Hugh Raymond's. There it is. Fulton Road, Fulton, Georgia. Further described. Let's see. The attachment B. Here's all the things they want. There it is. Signed. United States Magistrate Judge. January 28, 2:31 p.m. There's the 1, 2, 3 different around, but we could look up the military timestamp on that too. This was 2:15 here. That's on. And then what's this one? Voting. What's this one? Okay, so we'll pause there for just a second. Maybe anything you want to add, Melzie?
Nope.
Okay. What else we got, Tim? We got a little short video.
Yeah, well, in Diggers also. Oh, sorry, Melzie. In Diggers, Trump last night announced the new AAG, the Assistant Attorney General for all criminal investigations throughout the country. You know how CM and the Q drops is Code Monkey?
Yes.
Okay. Wouldn't that be interesting if this fellow's initials were the same, CM?
Wow.
Colin McDonald. Colin McDonald.
Oh, okay. And who in that?
It's in Diggers. It's in Diggers, brother. If you want to pop that up quickly, scroll up. You're going to have to go up a little ways to where you see the right above the breaking. President Trump announces first ever Assistant Attorney General to investigate fraud nationwide. There's an article, and above that is his truth. And his truth was posted last night at 6:43.
Okay, okay, here's the truth. You want me to do this one first? Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that one, and then if you want to read a bit of that article, we'll learn more about this. I'd never heard of this guy's name, Colin McDonald, but it's CM. There's your CM in the Q drop.
You mind reading the truth, and then I'll read the other stuff on the article.
Sure. Yeah. I am pleased to nominate Colin McDonald to serve as the first ever Assistant Attorney General, or AAG, in the Q drops for National Fraud Enforcement, a new division at the Department of Justice, which I created to catch and stop fraudsters that have been stealing from the American people. My administration has uncovered fraud schemes in states like Minnesota and California, where these thieves have stolen hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars.
Sickening.
Colin McDonald is a very smart, tough, and highly respected America First federal prosecutor who has successfully delivered justice in some of the most difficult and high-stakes cases our country has ever seen. Together, we will end the fraud and restore integrity to our federal programs. Congratulations, Colin. Stop the scams. We got to look this guy up. We got to look this guy up.
Yeah. Colin McDonald.
Let's read that news article. Maybe they have a little bit of history on him, but we could do maybe Wikipedia on him.
We need to look up Assistant Attorney General because that's again AAG, and then wasn't it? Did somebody have a picture? It looked like a session that said Acting Attorney General, and then Trump had Acting President of Venezuela. So the acting comes soon. I think we're gonna maybe try to do a little episode tomorrow about the movie thing. We'll see, unless a guest comes on. We never know what's gonna happen here. But here's the article: Breaking Trump first
Movie.
ever.
There's another movie tomorrow. Melania's movie tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
And the government shutdown movie. We got lots of movies tomorrow.
That's why I think it's perfect. All movies playing at the same time. We'll do it tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here is Gateway Pundit breaking President Trump. Okay, we just said that part. To specifically investigate fraud nationwide. Right, President Trump on Wednesday announced he has nominated Colin McDonald. Okay, new position will be Senate confirmed, and Senate Majority Leader Thune, however you say it, has promised a swift confirmation. Look at that. We were just talking about confirmation, confirmed 51 Q jobs, confirmation. Quote, I'm pleased to nominate.
And Melzie, the last couple of days talking about clean and swift. Just saying.
That's what I was thinking too when that popped up. Yeah. Here's the next part. Tim just read this. Here's from Trump's True Social post. Again, that Tim just read. And then Deputy Attorney Todd Blanche praised Colin McDonald. Also, Colin is a rock star who was instrumental in our team's mission of making America safe again. He's a consummate prosecutor who loves God, family, and country, and will serve the president of the American people well. Right. New Assistant Attorney General's work will begin in Minnesota after it was revealed the Somali fraudster stole billions of dollars, like we've been watching. It has all the benefits, all the resources.
Bananas and rice. Let's go.
Has all the benefits, all the resources, all the authority of a special counsel, but with two crucial differences. J.D. Vance said, what's the two differences? Attorney Pam Bondi will not be supervising Colin McDonald. Ooh. And number one, it will be run out of the White House under the supervision of me and the president.
Ooh. That's a direct line. That reminds me of those Q drops, Kyle, where who reports to the president, and that would be that's the Huber and Sessions stuff,
right? And then also White House specifically, they took over the COVID stuff too because the CDC was, in cahoots with all that shit too. So
this is big, Melzie. This is big stuff right here.
And number two, it's actually constitutionally legitimate. As you guys may know, the special counsel statute has some major constitutional questions. This is crazy because I've been saying it for a while. Yig was the one that I can't find it anymore. That art was about the special counsel in 1999, and they redid the contract and it had to be renewed. And then the Q job says, the start 1999, so that's interesting. And then now he's saying that they're basically saying a special counsel is unconstitutional. I don't know. Anyways, quote, when we get the bad guys, we want to make sure we get them permanently and they don't have some legal technicality that they can get out of, which is why we set it up as an associate attorney general. It's supposed to be as assistant, I guess associate, but that's a different word though, because this one is assisting and then it says associate, and then there's the acting AAG or acting attorney is also AAG. So it's odd. Let's go one more gematria. I showed it yesterday in case y'all missed it. And I never made that connection until more recently. I mean, we didn't do the gematria as much as we used to back in the day, but attorney general AG written out can be 17.
Show your screen.
Thank you, Tim. So AG, Attorney General written out, can also be 17 because A is the first letter, G is the seventh letter. So
silver.
Look back in
Also
silver. Great point too, Tim. AG is silver on the periodic table of elements. All right, but then you do it backwards. Georgia, GA is 71. Mirrored too. So we got Georgia's right in the front and center of all this.
And what happened in Georgia last night? Fulton County, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
Right. And then AAG, which is what an assistant attorney general or acting attorney general is, would be 117, just like Tim's jacket. And our friend's 117. So I just want to add that a little bit interesting. The letters Attorney General, Georgia, GA 71. Nothing can stop what's coming. The acronym 71, and then AAG is 117.
I'm kind of curious if we can just take a couple minutes. Can you look up on Wikipedia? Look up Colin McDonald, AAG. I want to see what background he's got. Like if he's connected to something like maybe an old RICO case or something, maybe or. I've never heard this guy before. Have you, Melzie? Ever heard of Colin McDonald?
No, and that's what I thought too. Like, I've never heard of this guy, and who is this guy?
I was hoping it'd be Sessions. Like I said to Kyle about a month ago, I said, wouldn't it be neat if it was Sessions? But Sessions is playing a role in the background.
It's such a good movie because we really, it's one that is so suspenseful, and we think we know the way it's going, and we can't put our expectations in any type of an outcome. I think,
Yeah, that's kind of what we're learning, and on a deeper level, guys, I was thinking about all this is like we're being prepped, and I've said this for a long time, Tim. What do you do before a really important military operation? You run a drill over and over and over and over again. And also for training your military, which is what y'all are now, you also have to prepare them for more. And you're going to put them through a series of tests as well. And we think about it, this stuff is, again, it's like that small potatoes, right? We had Charlie Kirk, we got Trump assassination attempt, we have all these other things, but then these divisive things, right? From all the way back in 2020, George Floyd, look how far we've gotten, how fast we expose stuff, but they're still doing everything they can to continue to divide us, right? But also think about if it's still white hats in control because we get frustrated on some things, they might be prepping us for that scare event, right? So we gotta keep being used to this divisiveness and these false flags and continue to breathe, think logically, stand our ground, help inform people. So, just be mindful again. We're getting prepped for a big event. It's going to be all worth it in the end. Somebody was asking where to find us. We got the little thing on the bottom, guys. We got YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, and X and stuff. So on the bottom there, you can check out different places to follow us. Y'all new. Thank you, guys. Also different places you can support us as well. Okay, so what else we got? We got plenty more stuff in Diggers. So let's go back to that.
Yeah, but I want to see this Colin McDonald guy too. Wikipedia, if we can search him
okay.
up.
Just the general stuff. Okay, let's see if anybody got anything on Diggers.
Yeah, and what I really found interesting about, and I didn't know this until you read that article, is that he is directly connected to the president and vice president of the United States, guys. Like
that's what Vance says, right? So is that must be though, huh? Or that's that's a brand new position, right? So he made it specifically like that, like you're saying.
Yeah, like it's going around Pam Bondi, the attorney general, like that. It just blows my mind. I mean,
what up, Johnny Bravo?
It's like the president's men, the president's men.
Yes, the king's men, all the king's men.
Wow.
All right, let's see. Cindy had something about the acting attorney general. Acting attorney general is a person temporarily appointed, and then Q talks about that a lot. Acting positions, but this is different. This is interesting too. Appointed, so an acting one appointed to perform the duties of the attorney general, usually while the official is unavailable, or usually again being like sworn in. So that's the acting one. So let's see. Did anybody dig anything up on the guy though? What's his name again? CM.
McDonald.
Colin McDonald.
Yeah, again, Cindy looked this up to the assistant. Oh, so AAG does stand for the assistant attorney, a position within the U.S. Department of Justice responsible for overseeing various divisions, including civil rights enforcement. Each state has its own attorney general who serves as the chief legal officer of the state. Right. But what's interesting about that, though, see, this is like there is an assistant attorney general. That's the weird part, and I'm pretty sure it's even in the Q jobs. I'm gonna look it up right now. Let me see.
Associate. They called him an associate.
At the end, with the beginning, they used the first used assistant. Let me bring that article up real quick just to show you guys. So right here in the beginning, Tim, it says President Trump on Wednesday announced he has nominated Colin McDonald to serve as assistant attorney general. The new position will be Senate confirmed. Okay, and then let's see on his quote, he said first ever assistant attorney general. Trump said that himself. And then at the very end of this article, and it could be an error, but it's still, these all seem like comms all the time. It uses the word associate attorney general. Now I want to go to the Q jobs just for a second.
How does he spell his last name? M-A-C? Is it M-A-C? Yeah.
It's like the restaurant. Yeah, MCD, right? I think it's Mick.
MCD?
Yeah, McDonald, like the restaurant, which is, I think, relevant because, Trump's had the different things with, what do you call it? McDonald's, he was all the different things he's done with McDonald's, from on the plane with RFK, the Maha, and working at McDonald's for a little bit. We're always like, what's the deal with all this? So All right, there's 13 drops on QAG with assistant, because I thought I'd seen, I guess there hasn't been an assistant director, what do you call it? Attorney General. These are all assistant director.
Wow. There's no Wikipedia on this guy.
Nothing. He just came out of nowhere.
Well, Cindy has this, so
Look at this. Look at this. Holy shit. So wait a minute. Oh, this is a smaller, this is like a state one. This is in the long Democrat Maine Assistant Attorney General James Cameron. That's freaking a producer. I mean, that's not him. This is a Democrat, James Cameron, sentenced 15 years federal prison for 7 counts of child porn. Put a millstone around their neck, but it's the only, if you looked up Assistant Attorney General, this would be the one and only Q drop. So that's kind of odd. Let's see the timestamp or what number it is too. Let me put in the search. Did you find no Wikipedia on him, McDonald, either then, Tim?
No, I got a LinkedIn though. Let me see.
Cindy has a LinkedIn. So if you want me to pull it up.
Okay, so I misspoke. So I put in the full thing, Assistant Attorney General, and there's 5 Q drops. Okay, 1316 is the first one, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And it looks like John Carlin, that's another JC other than James Comey, James Clapper. We don't talk about John Carlin. He was the Assistant Attorney General, head of DOJ's National Security Division. So how's that a new position? I don't understand that. And then we had an acting Assistant Attorney General, which means there's definitely had that position before. So that's why I'm almost wondering if it's just like a nod to Anons, that it's like, it's weird. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. So 5 drops with Assistant Attorney General. It looks like it's here's the other one. Like I said, Democrat Maine Assistant Attorney General James Cameron. It's the maker of Avatar. This is weird. All right. So what else we got here? Okay, you said some stuff in Diggers.
Yep.
Okay. Again, shout out to Johnny Bravo. Thank you guys. Let's see. The R drop. Do a little show on the R drop. There's a B drop too. What's up with the B drop? Shout out to the OG Anons out there from the Chans that helped me know a little bit about the B post. If you're all watching, thank you guys.
New York Post has a good article on. I'll send that over to Diggers.
Keep no more 17 Q drops, Susan Calloway. We can't miss those kind of things. That's crazy. I gotta watch that right now. I missed what you said, Tim. I'm gonna do the search real quick. What'd you say?
New York Post just did an article on this McDonald character also.
Okay, check this out. Drum roll. Sheep no more. Oh my gosh. How did you find beautiful? Look at add another one on the list. Susan Calloway.
Yeah, where's your list? Add it to your list. How many we got? 17 now? We're at 17, 18.
Probably about 17. That might be our 17th one.
Nice job.
Bingo. So sheep no more.
Okay, Melzie dropped a couple things in Diggers too, I see, and then also just dropped that New York Post article on McDonald, Colin McDonald, who busted a crooked police chief, apparently. I wonder who that was.
Oh, nice. But see, that's what he's going to be going after, and there's no Pam Bondi in the way. Sheep no more, 133 words, 11 letters, 11.3. Okay, over on to Diggers. What else we got in here, Tim?
Well, Melzie, is there anything you want him to share? And then we can share this article too. Well, let's read this article too after you show Melzie's stuff.
Okay, which article, Tim? The DHS one?
The one at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Bottom of the wall.
What you want to go do? Anything?
Whatever.
Is there anything you want to cover?
If you go all the way to the bottom, there's something that I think we could go over right there.
Oh, not running for re-election. Okay. And then
is that Walls, eh?
Yeah, there's a good Q proof with that one. Okay, let's do it right now.
No, and part of it was to look. I recognize that I'm a lightning rod, and this is a tough space for I'm in because I know they personally and my old guys who are governors to know on their feet, okay, type of thing. But in all fairness on the timing, I proved myself, and Kistler, Renee Goodard. But I think one of the things is I have no political consideration. Will never run for elected office again. Never again. Never again. And I will just do the work. And what I found is, again, I'm going to say this. There's heroes on the streets that we don't know their names. They're never going to run for office. And those are this administration this week to do something about it. So there's other ways to serve. And I'll find them.
So there he is, not running for re-in. That's a big one too. And let's let me show the proof I've done for years. A little bit better than that one, but thank you for the digs there, guys. So we do re-election is something everyone should look up. These Q jobs. RE-election. What did I do wrong here? Oh, it was Red October. That's why. Okay. RE-election, 15 Q jobs. So 15 and 51 mirrors there. 24 is the first one with re-election. The reason that I sometimes come back to that one too is the Red October, because Red October is connected to this of us removing all of these corrupt assholes. So 24 Red October Q jobs. There's also Red underscore and other ones like that. But then when you go to this Q job 24, this re-election one, this is the big one. Any person making statements they will not be seeking re-election was put in submission. So there's confirmation, Red October submission. Okay, and they're in submission. It's also, draining the swamp, DC re-election for the betterment of the country. Not all will be prosecuted, and all will do as told. So we're watching this movie play out with all these assholes from, Newscomb in California to Bess in LA and all mayors and governors, all the retards out there. And then, of course, Tim Walz now and Jacob Frey, we're seeing that all play out. You will see more of this occur, not normal, yet disregarded. And even on the D side, again, people not seeking re-election. There you go. We're finally getting it more on both sides. It's been both sides for quite a while, but yes, we're going to see a lot more of this as well. So, pretty awesome. Another just Q proofs happening there. Tim Walz says he's not running for elected office ever again. White guys, didn't dumb stuff. So, anyways, thanks for that. Q proof on Melzie.
It's from MJ Truth.
MJ Truth, shout out MJ Truth. There's our brother in the Negative 48 family. Almost 100,000 followers over on Telegram. It looks like it's t.me, Candles in the Light. MJ Truth. Y'all don't know MJ Truth. Make sure y'all follow them. He's on other platforms too. So there he is, MJ Truth.
Awesome dig. Yeah, I love it. I just scanned the article. So in a nutshell, he busted a police chief and two other officers in Hawaii back in 2020 who illegally criminally charged somebody else for the same crimes that they were guilty of using projection. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah. And they spent gazillions of dollars on Elton John tickets and Maseratis and all kinds of fancy cars and a trip to Disneyland. So they in jail.
Okay.
Because of this guy.
Shout out to let me shout out some new friends that pop in on Instagram here. I'm trying to help you out. Maybe I can help everybody out. So Elaine is new and now the Redneck Light Worker. Thank you, Elaine. Said you guys can find Colin McDonald's complete bio on LinkedIn. They were also asking about where to find the Q job, so I'll show that one time. But Elaine or any guys, if y'all come over to our Rumble channel, it's Hammer Time Rapid Fire Q News. Let me show that one real quick here. Go on to Rumble. Rumble's just like YouTube. We are on YouTube, but Q School without Q. Let me just show it. But Rumble, if you put in Hammer Time, it should pop up at the very beginning here. Hammer Time's the long one. Well, you'll see it. We got the Q military patch right there. And then you'll see us. All of our recordings are here in one spot, but also on the live in the chat, we have amazing diggers in there. So you can ask different questions and stuff, but I'll just answer that question real quickly for us. If you go here, this is the more complicated one, but you can do a lot of different digging. And again, it's easy to at least search terms to start reading Q jobs. It's QAGG.news. Okay. QAGG.news. All right. And then the more easy one though would be QAlerts.pub. All right. So then QAlerts.pub, when you go to that, let's go. It's a little bit just easier. It looks like this. Okay. So the search bar is up here, but look, like just start clicking around and playing around with it. It's going to take a little time. We'll help you learn it too. Deltas. This means Q drops from today's date.
What's that?
And the Delta. Yeah. So
what's that?
Right. So anyways,
what does it say there? How many? 4?
Well, this one's an interesting one because on Q Alerts, if you put that date in, this gives you sometimes extra drops. So this one here right here has January 29 written out on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we might otherwise maybe miss that drop. So those are also the cool things about doing different searches on
What
QAG
does it
or
say
Q
there?
Alerts. Let's do, which one you
It
want to do?
just said the first one. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this one. So let's see here. Oh, Julian's Ram, love that account too. February 21, 221 Q drop. So I went to Q Alerts, guys, qalerts.pub or .net, and we clicked. We got the home page. You hear these little hyperlinks. It says deltas. Delta just means change in time. So we're usually 99% of the time when we're talking deltas, we're talking about Q drops from today's date from whatever year. So if it's 4 years ago, it's a 4-year delta because it's happened. Q drop happened on this date 4 years ago. All right. So, but when you click on Q Alerts, you can just click the hyperlink and it'll bring up all the Q drops from January 29th. So it looks like there's 4 from that date, but I think there's only 3. We see right here, January 29th, and then the last one is also January 29th. But the way they do their searches on Q Alerts, this number can pop up in there. So we see this extra Q drop here with January 29th date in it. So let's check it out. Let's do this one. You mind reading one more, Tim, or you're in the middle? Are you busy?
I'm busy right now. Yeah, I'm just getting set up for my health break here.
Okay, so this would be a good one to show how to search different things. Okay, so back to the Q drop here. Q drop 2844. I clicked this Twitter link, Julian's Rum. When it took me over to Twitter, sometimes you get this. Okay, this post from a suspended account. So basically, then you would have to go to the other Q board, the one I mentioned the first time, QAG, which is again QAGG.news. Okay, but I'm gonna now put in this Q drop, which was 2844. So I'm gonna go to the Q drop over here. The reason we'll do this is if the link is gone, guys, on QAG.
You got to show your screen.
Thank you, Tim. Nice catch. So shit, did I show how to put that in? Okay, that part didn't matter. Okay, on QAG here, the Twitter link, there's a little file cabinet folder. Okay, so we're gonna click that. It makes a new window. I don't like that, so I gotta hop over here and then hop out, but it'll be all right. So, and we get a screenshot what it was. And Julian's Rum, I thought he got his account back. He always had funny punchlines, big account. Had some interaction with him too. I don't know if he's who he is really. I think he's Anon still. Yeah, that's from a show. Anyways, holy shit. Now this is a Q-proof SCIF, which I mentioned is a sensitive compartmentalized information facility. Double meaning though, the first SCIF post, Q drop 14, Washington crossing the Delaware in the Revolutionary War in Durham boats, and a small boat is also called a SCIF, SKIFF. But there's your double meaning. DC-cap, I'm not familiar what that might mean. Obviously, max capacity, we'll see. And then Rod Rosenstein, RR, red line marker. So this is the Q drop then. That's January 29th Q drop is embedded in there. So for some reason,
shit, Kyle, that Trump post last night that we read is 6:43.
Oh, I was wondering about the timestamp. Dang.
And look at, it's 129. It's today's Delta.
Right. And this is from February 20th, which is odd.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's even weirder. So, okay, let's see. Let's see what
we read Trump's truth about the new AAG McDonald, Colin McDonald, timestamp 6:43, and all of a sudden you get to this archived. Oh my God! And it's Q drop 6:43 on today's Delta.
And they're asking, what does DC Cat refer to?
Yeah. So Julian's Rum said DC Capitol Building. So how about a future proofs pass there? Winds up being Capitol Building because this was not. This is from 2019. 2019, and he's talking about the DC Capitol Building. How much did that play out? So let's see. This guy says Q saying that there were unauthorized people looking at the Nunez memo in the SCIF. They were being watched. It is knowing who they are, members of the House and Senate, but also 2 former members of Obama administration and 4 outside contractors. We actually get proof of this later on. That gets released that there was 4 outside people. That's a Q proof in itself. And then this guy asked DC Cap. Julian Rum said Capitol Building. Q post says real time from January. Okay, it's interesting. So I got to stop the share just for a second, close this tab out, and I'll bring up the drop again. That's why you got to kind of bounce around when it does it with like that. Okay, so back to the Q drop here. Oh, wait, so I actually want to go. This is a trip because, okay, this is our extra. Let's call it the bonus Q drop. I'm going to go back over to Q alert so it all makes sense to everybody now. If you guys can follow this, is we have these drops, but what's crazy is this drop right here. Okay, another thing. When you're searching, it's going to usually start on the most recent or what you'd call the last Q drop and work in descending order. You can always switch those orders right here, this 1 to 9 thing. You just click it. And QAG's kind of the same thing. You'll see something that shows a similar looking thing and you flip the order. So now this is the earliest post is actually this Q drop from January 29, 2018. But for some reason, Julian's Rum decided on February of 2019, so a year and some change later, to take an image of this Q drop. And then Q responds, though, in this one right here. So try to keep up.
Okay, and wait, but go up, because
Okay.
he was talking about Rod Rosenstein and the last on the the Wayback Machine that we just saw.
How many dashes too? We got to count those dashes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Looks like 11 full ones.
And then
Okay, so
the other one would be 11.3 then below it.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. Look at this one. Oh, let's see. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, it looks like the 11.3. That almost is like
11 and a half.
It almost, it's not a half. It almost looks even less than a third because my favorite Q drop 2788. It looks a little bit longer than that. That's almost like a quarter. So 11
and a quarter, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna, and then the reason I almost want to go back to that damn expo so you guys could see it. But what happened there was, okay, Julian's Rum was sharing an image from the Q board. By the way, not to make this complicated, but Q's drops are actually on what's called the Chans, or we'll call it 8kun now. And then these are third-party aggregators that take the Q drops for us and put them in all one place so we can search them, because it would be impossible for us to do it otherwise. Let's just
This one would have come from 8chan though, I think. The date 8chan.
Yeah, 8chan. Yeah, this one's 8chan. Yes.
Okay.
Actually, it's real early on, so it's right around that switch from. But yeah, it is 8chan. They were on 4chan only a month or two. Okay, but the point, and then the other thing was the image shared by Julian's Rum was from the old Q map, which made its own titles. And Q map's own title is Rod Rosenstein red line marker or something like that. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to read this one first, and we're going to go right down to 2844 since this is essentially embedded in there. Okay. So one of our deltas for today, Q drop 643, again, a timestamp from a Trump's True Social we just showed. Narrative shift, 11 dashes. Nation on alert. Firing RR equals block Mueller. Firing RR equals set up to firing Mueller. Firing RR equals red line, 11 and a quarter, maybe dashes. What was the Senate confirmation vote regarding Rod Rosenstein? I believe it's like 90% to 10 in favor of him because he was the swamp, although he's undercover white hat, but he was a dirty cop and dirty, prosecutor, attorney general. Okay. Why did RR beg Ryan? This is Paul Ryan, who was the Speaker of the House when Trump got elected, being groomed to be the next president down the road. He's very young, and unbeknownst, he resigns. He doesn't seek re-election. One of these first ones. A lot of Republicans got removed early. This in itself is a massive Q proof. This guy is on the way to being a president. You just don't just step down for no reason. But it does make sense when you collude with Pence to try to actually assassinate the president of the United States. Then that, motherfucker, you will no longer be in politics. Thank you very much. We had to keep Pence on there for a little longer for the show, but these motherfuckers have been dealt with. Get it through your heads. All right. So why did Rod Rosenstein beg Paul Ryan to block the FISA memo from congressional review and further advancement? This stuff's complicated, guys. It's all Spygate. We've been trying to help you with it over the months, but essentially what this means here, though, guys, in real time when we're reading the Q drops, it seems like Rod Rosenstein's the bad guy, and maybe the bad guys even think he's still the bad guy, right? And it almost seems like that. And the blocking, it seems like he's trying to prevent Trump and us from having justice. But it actually was all done by design because the plan had to take this long. So when you read the Q drops much later on and analyze it. Like, holy shit, everything is think mirror. Like he actually blocked it because we, the White Hats, wanted it blocked so we could go the whole drama of the House. The Democrats win the House in 2018, impeach Trump after the Mueller failure, impeachment falls flat. Then they send in the fucking COVID, that falls flat. Send in George Floyd. Oh, now we got a second outbreak from all the riots. Oh, we got to have mail-in ballots, stolen 2020 election. Okay, we've covered all this shit. Okay, real time, 7 congressional members plus 3 senators and 2 former Obama senior officials plus 4 outside contractors with no classified or top secret sensitive level clearance are at the SCIF in the Washington, D.C. Capitol building. Q is telling us this in real time. Real time, guys. How scared would you think you'd be if you're a criminal? Thinking you're meeting in secret, thinking you're communicating on a video game chat log, and find out all of a sudden your whole fucking logs are on 8chan from Q dropping it themselves. You're going to shit your fucking pants. And guess what? Q even asked, why would we show this? Think about that. Why do you think that is?
Well, this.
Well, with their boards. Let me finish the Q drop and let me add it to it. And I like people thinking here, but like top secret clearance is mandatory for a mission. How is that possible? We see you, Q. So basically, these guys that don't actually have clearance are in there. But there's a really interesting Q drops where it shows them communicating on video game chat logs and other things of that nature. And Q asks, why would we show that? Think about that as a military operation. Why would you let the enemy know that you were watching them? Unless, in my opinion, I want to give my answer. It is 1, obviously maybe to scare them, make them freak out, or 2, it's already been done and dealt with. We've got them already wrapped up.
Yeah, can you go back to the Q post again? Because I saw something in there. There's 2 skiffs on January 29th.
Okay.
So the first one we looked at that wasn't one that would normally come up had skiff in it in the beginning.
Okay.
And then this one has skiff there too. So
yeah, let's go and do that. So again, this is a January 29th Delta. Now this image is shared in this next Q drop. So let's lead right into the next one. Q drop 2844. Quick recap, Julian's Rum shared that image of this Q drop right here, and they were talking about, he said, skiff DC cap in the tweet. Okay. Now we're a year and a month later, basically.
And yes, go ahead.
11/27/56. That's 27 inside 211. Okay. What is, here comes skiff again. So nice ion connection, Melzie. What is the process to enter a skiff? Can we actually check that out? We were watching a movie, Wag the Dog. It looked like they're in a skiff, but I didn't think it was quite a skiff. Yeah, that might be a quick little search. Any of our diggers maybe dig that up for us. What is the process to enter a skiff? I know primarily you leave your phone behind. You're going to basically have a security check, all these things. But curious what, when Q asks these questions, sometimes they might be simple, but simple, look it up. Sometimes it says define a term. You should look up the term. You might learn something. And anons do, and Q would then share that definition sometimes. What security level must exist in order to gain entry? More than likely, we'll use the answer code from up here. They probably got to have classified or top secret level, sensitive level clearance. All right, so we know that from the other Q drop in here. Can non-security level persons be invited to participate? It sounds like you shouldn't, but this is like shadow people, or I wonder about ambassadors. Q talks about that a lot too, is either ambassadors or also basically like former heads of state. We give these people top secret clearance and then they keep that clearance. And that was, go ahead.
Or maybe somebody with a special type of skill, like, so maybe.
But even if you have a skill, this is the part where it wouldn't make sense though, is because even if you have a special type of skill and then you need to be included on a top secret project, guess what they do? They give you top secret clearance for this that's called compartmentalization, special access program.
So someone like a producer wouldn't have top security level,
What, producer of what?
Maybe a movie.
Well, if it was involved in some big operation, he definitely would.
Yeah. Anyways, my mind just started working.
All right,
like,
let's read the rest.
Who would be non-security level persons?
Let's look and see if maybe the questions answer that. But also, essentially, though, it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be, because you're going to be able to view sensitive material. Okay, so, and that's the whole idea behind classification. If you don't have that classification, you can't see that. So Q is, at least in for the beginning of this Q drop, seems to be that these people are illegally in the FISA room. I mean, excuse me, the SCIF. Do logs exist for each designated meeting? They should. Do logs record time in, time out, who in, who out? Ability to enter, arrange without paper trail? And then this is RT, which can, so here's again, double, triple meetings. If you look up
Why
the key.
would you start with is it colons? No.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. So some things for RT is real time, and that's essentially what the other Q drop was saying, but it just spelled it out, real time, actually all caps. Interesting. What's real time gematria? So, and then there's Russia Today is a news group as well too. What's in our RT out there, maybe guys, or a person too, but maybe real time. January 29th, because that's from the January 29th Q drop that said real time. So again, this Q drop is really a nice answer key to this other Q drop 2844. All right, so
hold up a second. I have something here. So hold up, IDN.
Yep.
So then look at this. We have Meg 5 has to enter a SCIF. You need top secret clearance, and your identity IDEN must be verified. Logs track who enters, when, and why. No public access. No anonymity.
Yeah, anonymity. You can't be anonymous. You got to know who's going in there because it's secure, top level security clearance. Okay, thank you, Mag 5. Susan
IDN in there. So do you think the IDN not for anons is? Anyway.
Well, that's like the maybe somebody want to do a dig on that, the IDN all capitals, but that's like identifying someone because there's also Q mentions that in regards to Snowden, which is actually some more recent deltas. But this is basically saying these people that came in on January 18th in real time, January 28th, 2018. I misspoke. January 29th, 2018. So what was that? How many years ago? What are we in 2026? 8 years ago in real time. So this is again only January. We're only 600 jobs in the Q operation. This was when shit was really going down in real time. They were panicked. So imagine that. You think you're doing a secret meeting and Q drops right in the moment. How many people are in there and who? You'd be pretty freaked out. All right. So then real time, January 29th, 2018, identity, not for anons. That's interesting to me because I feel like that means this side of information would be classified. Who's going in the SCIF? That's just as important because that means those guys have top secret clearance. That tells you who's on Q team and type of thing. So not for anons means you probably can't find that. Okay, that's my interpretation. I could be wrong. IDEN, so identifying people January 29, 2018, and run back 1-2, not for anons. So this is again, here's the other thing about the Q jobs, guys. They're speaking to on multiple different levels. They're speaking to anons. Obviously, we know that one, but people always forget they're speaking to the black hats because they know the black hats are listening, or they'll speak directly to the black hats, but the other time we're trapping them. The third one is white hats. White hats in the field. Is this that beautiful back channel? You can have white hats in multiple places around the world logged into a computer, and when Q drops with their verified trip code, there can be information for the white hats on these. And we see that with the go codes and stuff. So this seems to be talking to the white hats. We don't know for sure. Okay, SCIF logs can be very revealing. That's why it can't be open source. Okay, Hussein, that's Barack Obama. Hussein's United States Secret Service code name is Renegade. I just mentioned, Q says define something, look it up. Define renegade, noun, a person who deserts, betrays an organization, country, or a set of principles. Synonyms with renegade are traitor, defector, deserter, turncoat, or betrayer. Q.
I have something here too from Brittany Stover. So she put, want to read it?
Okay, so here, Brittany's found something for us here. 7 members of Congress, 3 senators, 2 Obama officials, 4 foreign contractors, no clearance, no authorization inside the most secure intel room in D.C. You don't break into a SCIF, you get let in. Thank you, Susan Calloway. Can we? Too. Rod Rosenstein, that's one of the RRs. Begged Paul Ryan to block the memo. Why? Because the memo wasn't the threat. The breach was the trap. DC capital, or capstone. Ooh, nice double meaning. Final move, checkmate. Thank you, Brittany, for that one. Can we find out, though, there was a proof that later on there was 4 contractors outside. It was probably like a year later. John Solomon, I believe, would be the one breaking that. If anybody finds that, that'd be cool. But, okay, so let's I feel like it's time for a little short clip, kind of transition into something and give ourselves a little break. What you think about, Tim?
Well, you got the Melania was on the 5 yesterday. Remember 5.5? I'm reading the Rod Rosenstein Wikipedia, man. It's mind-blowing. It's like...
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'll share it on Dager's homework for everybody here. But yeah, there's so many. It's attached to so many Q drops. Everything that I'm reading right now is just like, oh, really? Oh, yeah, I see now. Oh, yeah, I read that in the Q drops before. Oh, yeah.
It'd be cool to do like a show on some of these people we've talked about for a while and help people. And then
It helps so much.
This would be a good one. Actually, we could probably, it's quite an extensive Wikipedia about him. But yeah, it brings in Mueller, it brings in Trump, brings in Obama, brings in the Bushes. I mean, his background goes way back, guys.
Yeah. And then that's again the connections with Kavanaugh and Sessions and stuff. So, and that's kind of the big thing too. Again, I'm kind of giving you some of the answer key. You guys got to read the Q drops and come to your own conclusions and think for yourself. But some of it is confusing, and especially go all the way back. What was going on around that time. But at the end of the day, there's no leaks. And if Sessions recused himself as the Attorney General, which he did, that meant Rod Rosenstein was in charge. So guess who would know if Huber was attached to the case? Rod Rosenstein. Did we know about Huber until Q told us or it came public? No. And who else? John Durham. Rod Rosenstein knew about John Durham, and yet it never leaked. You know what I mean? So those are when you see the bigger picture, you're like, oh shit.
Durham start, Q start. Durham start, Q start. Just saying, let's go.
So do you think then they were communicating with, like the deep state there, kind of showing there's no leaks, and here there's a leak, and how did it get out?
Well, that took us a while to kind of piece that together. By the time we would figure something out, the enemy's already like they're fucked. You know what I mean? The trap's already been set. So that's how news unlocks the map too. No Anon could ever figure out an operation beforehand, but when the news breaks and here's the title, like, oh, this meant this. Wow, that's a Q proof. They're giving us foreknowledge, and that's how it's a beautiful part of the operation.
I mean, thank God that we can't figure it out.
Sure,
right?
Because if we did, then others.
Yeah.
And that's kind of I didn't mean to step on you. Go ahead.
No.
But it's a blessing, and also like it's a testament to Q team. The fact that we don't know who's who in whoville, the fact that nobody knows what the fuck's gonna happen, nobody knows what time, nobody knows what Trump's gonna do, means the plan is going perfectly, because if we have no idea, neither does the enemy.
And it does remind me of that one famous Q drop, Melzie, where it says those who you think are bad are good, and those who you think are good are bad.
Yes. And that's, I think, what's hard. Like, how do you know the players? Like, when you know the movie, you're like, oh, I know who that person is. There's so many people, and it's such a complicated story, right? Like Russia, Russia, Russia. Trump kept saying Russia, Russia, Russia. I had no idea why he would say that, and there's a reason for all of the things that he does. It kind of gets you into your mind too. You keep thinking, what is with Russia? If he had just said Russia, I don't know that we would be like, well, it's Russia, it's Ukraine, but you keep thinking Russia, Russia, Russia. What is he talking about? So the marketing, I would say, or the way that they present things in order to help break into our consciousness and kind of crack our thinking to get us to go, what's going on here, is just brilliant.
It really is. It is. Actually, this would be a good time to play. If you want to go to Rumble, pull up Badlands and look for the Cue the Disclosure from, was it last night, yesterday? I watched, it was Josh Reed. He was solo, and I know how much Melzie loves Josh Reed. We all do. He's a superb autist anon. But he breaks down, for about 5, 6, 7 minutes or so, he does talk about the Q operations. And it's really a nice introduction, especially for anybody that's kind of new to this and trying to figure things out a little bit. He kind of gets you to sort of sit back, relax, and just take it.
He comes from a military background.
He does. He talks about that too. Yeah. So Kyle, if you can pull that up, I think it's Cue the Disclosure, or the last Q show. What's the if you bring it up on the screen, it's the lime green one, I think.
Let me hop out one more time. My screen a little glitchy right now.
Okay. So I can't talk.
And while he does that, I'll just encourage everybody here to just do your own search on Rod Rosenstein. Go to his Wikipedia, read it from top to bottom. And then once you read that, you're going to absorb some of the information, like subtly or subconsciously. Then go to the Q drops, the Intel board, and read the RR Q drops, Rod Rosenstein and the RR drops. And you're going to start piecing some of this stuff together and get to some of the same conclusions that Kyle and I and Melzie have gotten to over the years. So
I missed anything you said. So which one are we looking for? No, I mean the name of the bat.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I got it now, I think.
Keep scrolling down. It's the Q show. Where is it? There it is. DEFCON 0. DEFCON 0.
Okay.
Yeah, and go to about the. I didn't give you a timestamp, but I would scroll in right where he start. No, I wouldn't go that far into it. Probably the first 10-minute mark, around 10 minutes.
Closure lotion, and I am very impressed, even within just a few days.
Ingredients, absolutely love it. I use that.
A little further. He's talking about the
redeemable small town outside of Rochester, New York. But I was a thinker. I was in
here we go.
AP Chem, and then my first year in college. And then just something changed in me. I just said, I don't want to do this anymore. I joined the military, and I did 10 years in the United States Navy. And I worked on advanced weapon missile gunfire control systems. I was actually originally going nuke. And in the aspect of going nuke, you had to go take a test. It was the NFQT. And I scored amazingly on it. I got selected into the nuke program, and they put me on delayed entry. I didn't want to go on the delayed entry. I kind of wanted to leave now right after September 11th. And so I ended up choosing gun missile weapon fire control systems, the advanced electronic computer field in the Navy. And I'm so glad I did. It was an amazing experience, amazing education that the Navy gave me. And I did just under 10 years in the United States Navy. My last duty station, Washington, D.C., 2009, 2010, 2011. And after that, I went into the corporate world. I worked for a large Fortune 100 company, and then I worked in startup companies for a while, helped build them up. Then I consulted for startup companies, large financial institutions. And one thing that I didn't realize that I kind of realized now is I was getting this education. I was getting this education in the understanding of how the world works. Now, during this whole time, I was fascinated with conspiracy theories. I think one of the first books I read was The Biggest Secret by David Icke, right back in the 1990s. And so I'd always been following this stuff. I've always been researching and investigating. In 2012, I messaged a man that kind of changed the course of a lot of my thinking. And he ended up messaging me back and sending me his phone number, and we began talking. And we started discussing various different conspiracy and esoteric and occult topics and all these different things. That man's name was Jordan Maxwell. You've probably heard of him. And we had a friendship for multiple years throughout until we lost contact after I moved and a few other things happened. But became friends with Jordan Maxwell. We talked all the time, almost every weekend for hours on end. Was trying to help him through a few things that he was going on in his life. But it got me to researching and investigating things again. It got me into reading books and going back and really looking at what was happening in the world, and not just on the surface level, but behind the scenes, the under the surface. And that's where things really begin to get interesting, and research can take many different tailspins in different directions. Whether you go into the dark, the occult, you start going into Pizzagate, and this is in and around that time that all that stuff happened. So when 2017 came about, in October 28th, 2017, we were prime right off of this with the cicada stuff. And a lot of us were following cicada. A lot of us were following Pizzagate at that time. And then you started having Donald Trump come into the White House, which was phenomenal. And on 4chan at this time, if you remember, there was a lot of people out there claiming to be insiders of the White House. And they would say things and nothing would happen. They would say things and nothing happened. And then just this one post just started going viral. And I think that it was meant to go viral. I think that people actually pushed it and helped it go viral. And then you had a social influence campaign that drove it from the ground up, from Reddit to Twitter, that brought it into the limelight. I learned about it in December of 2017, where I began various different chat groups on Twitter at the time, in Facebook and Twitter, where we would decode these things and discuss them in the sense of what's happening in the big conspiracy of the world. I used to listen to all different types of podcasts, and I used to get mad all the time listening to these podcasts of people talking about Q and really having no clue what they were talking about. And I would do my own decodes. My buddy said one day, and he goes, if you're so angry and you're so mad at all these people up with decoding Q, why don't you go out there and do it yourself? So I did. I came out as a Q Patriot with QAnon News, two separate QAnon News on YouTube. My first YouTube channel, I think we got over 100,000 subscribers. That got deleted within, I think, about 6 months. And then we created another one, which was deleted in the Great Purge that everybody remembers in 2020. And, we had massive growth, and I had my whole world taken away from me because of me just discussing information. If you remember this, and we all got purged from social media. Well, for us influencers, some of us, that was our only source of income. That was our only way to feed our family. So at that point in time, it became very, very personal. And I doubled down on the research, and I started coming up with ideas on how I could bring more value to an audience. And one of those ideas was a motto that I follow today. And that motto is very, very simple. Never believe anything anybody tells you, no matter who they are or what authority they possess or profess, unless you can prove it through your own research, through your own investigation, through your own inquiry, with your own discernment, and through your own volition. I hold true to that today. So when I start talking about topics, these are topics that I've deep dove into. And I don't like to debate people. I like to discuss. I like to have conversations on things. So when we start to talk about Q and what Q was, it was interesting. There's cross correlations between what I was seeing in the Q movement and what things that I had learned when I was still in the military. In Washington, D.C. in 2008, I joined the Oath Keeper.
All right, so I'm gonna leave it on that right there. That's a good little recap of the Q drops as well. That's definitely our motto there, to always question everything. So that's over on Badlands. Let's show that one more time. The Rumble channel over there, Josh Redpills.tv with its DEF CON and Badlands Media. They got a whole group underneath them. Badlands Media. Our friends Abby and Brad are over there, and some other friends there too. DEF CON 0 there with the Q on there. That's Josh there. Brilliant. And I've got to see a little bit. Thank you, Tim, and all the other Anons helping show some of our other beautiful digital soldiers in the movement. He mentioned a couple different things. We'll kind of cover all this stuff. Cicada 331, which, again, I'm not a computer guy, so I've learned this over time. It's clearly like a prelude to the Q operation, and also more than likely, or definitely recruited Anons to be part of the NSA and other special operations. So Cicada 331, name given to 8 sets of puzzles posted under the name 3301 online between 2012, 2014, right around Snowden and some other things. First puzzle started January 4th, 2012 on 4chan and ran for nearly a month. Second round of puzzles began 1 year later on January 4th. 2013 anyways, but there would be these images. This must have been the first one, and again, I'm not even going to try to explain it. Just like what Josh is saying, we have certain topics we dig into and we get really well versed in them, and I usually admit when it's something I don't know so well. Again, I'm not the tech savvy guy, so I'm just trying to help you guys understand some of this. But the puzzle focused heavily on data security, cryptography, stenography, and internet anonymity. It has been called the most elaborate and mysterious puzzle of the internet age. It literally became its own sensation. There's good YouTube videos that kind of give a little summary of it, documentaries on it. Check it out if you guys want to know. It's really interesting. Listed as one of the top 5 eeriest unsolved mysteries of the internet. Again, basically Q before Q. That was Washington Post. Much speculation exists as to its function. Many have speculated the puzzles are a recruitment tool for the NSA, CIA, MI6. Who's MI6? What country's that, guys? That's your real, they're even in charge of Mossad. That's Great Britain. Secret Intelligence Service, SIS. That's in the Q drop slot, commonly known as MI6, British intelligence. All right. Anyways, Mossad and a Masonic conspiracy, cyber mercenary group. Others have stated alternate reality game. But the images were so layered, it was like just deeper and deeper you went with the images. There was more things revealed. There's also a Q drop very early on that shows Ivanka Trump and the guy says fake and gay or something, and then Q says answer the phone, basically got a job right at the NSA. And that was, again, maybe alluding to all the CGI and fake news stuff. Trump always called them fake news. Have they even been real for as long as we've been watching them? Who knows? But this image you can't even tell is fake, but somehow this Anon did, and he got offered a job at the NSA. So that's some of the things he referenced there. Cicada 331. Check out the little documentary on it. Search on YouTube, you guys. It's interesting stuff on it.
Yeah, thanks for that. That was awesome, and it does tie in. And that Josh Reed, that fella, like, I'm really impressed with his knowledge and his experience, obviously, in his military background. Hint, hint, nod, nod. Yeah, definitely go watch that, you guys, for yourselves. We played just a couple of minutes, but the whole show is basically he's explaining his whole journey, basically, within this disinformation warfare that we find ourselves smack dab in the middle of, and how he moved and counter moved his way through it, through the fog of war. And yeah, the guy is just simply like one of those high skilled, high autist level Anons out there. So definitely give him a follow, and maybe send him a nice, kind message. Tell him Q School sent you.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have him come and join us someday, and I think we will. We'll get some of those fellows from Badlands. I reached out to Brian and Ash because they do the voting stuff. They have a great voting show. I forget the title. It's something about voting anyway, but they've been really for years been doing a real bang on job about the fraudulent election stuff. So I'm sure their next show is going to be, I'm not sure what days they come on, but they're going to be talking about what happened last night with Fulton County with the FBI raid and all. But yeah, they've been over the target for many, many years. That's Brian and Ash. Why We Vote. That's the name of the show. Why We Vote. Yeah. So yeah, well, I reached out to him. I sent a message on the board, and I'm just waiting for a reply back to get them on. But yeah, that's what this is all about, eh? Melzie and Kyle. I mean, we've met so many beautiful patriots, Anons, autists along our journey, and we're going to meet some more. And not that we're all on the same page, because we like as Josh explained, you have
the beauty of it.
The beauty of it, yeah. Use your own discernment, do your own research, but collectively come together and discuss it. Don't argue about things, just discuss things, because you can bounce ideas off each other, and somebody always comes up with something really new and interesting that we can always dig on and maybe connect a couple of more dots. It's all about dot connecting, yeah, exactly. And it's really not, I mean, it's not our job to do or say so, but what it does is it helps us all feel comfortable about the position that we've all found ourselves to be in. Fortunately, we've broken free from the machine, from the matrix, and we're kind of, building our own army, the digital army, as General Flynn discussed many, many years ago. The digital army, digital warriors, digital Anons out there. But see, like, knowing that you're working with a community and sharing this kind of information and reading it together, what it does is it builds your courage, your knowledge, because I think as our guest said yesterday, Ben said, and he said something really beautiful, and I'll re-say it, but he says, and it's in the Q drops, it says, with great knowledge comes great power. With great power comes great responsibility. And we've always tried to stay in those those guidelines, like Josh was talking about. We don't go too far outside and down the deepest rabbit holes. And if we do, we do it with maybe a couple of friends, and we'll discuss it, but we don't bring it to the forefront because it would just blow the tops off of everybody's heads. It's the choice to know is always yours, as Q says. So again, that's where trust yourself, trust your discernment on a lot of these so-called conspiracy theories. But yeah, it's just a beautiful time to be alive. It's a beautiful time to share this with you guys and to become more knowledgeable in this golden age, the new golden age that we find ourselves heading into. Isn't it wild, guys?
Exactly. Yeah, it's special for sure. Shout out to some of our friends. Also, some other things in the chat here. So, Mag5, Susan Calloway, RT, Simple English Gematria, R18, T is 20, so that's 38. Real time comes to 83. So, forward and back mirror, that's kind of cool. Cindy's dad's getting discharged. Awesome news to hear, Cindy. Thanks for all the prayers in our Q School family, too. Send some prayers Cindy's way and all of y'all guys. Thank you, guys. Beautiful news. Cindy, thank you so much. Susan Calloway also had this here. 4 contractors with Fusion GPS, CrowdStrike, Perkins Coie. Coie. There's a new name we got. Coie, Ops 4 and Intel linked IT firm. Like CPI. Interesting. There's 4 different contractors. And then Brittany said too, Solomon mentioned it. There was anyways, great dig. So he did January 4 years later. Solomon published receipts confirming FISA abuse, Steele dossier fraud, Fusion GPS laundering, contractors plus DOJ, State Department leaks. There is our mainstream article somewhere out there too that confirmed it was outside contractors. It was when Q was still posting, so it must have been from 2020. We'll find it some other time. But thank you for the digs there. Great job, guys. Let's see what else was there.
Yeah. Speaking of Solomon, make sure you guys are tuning in to Real America's Voice. Steve Bannon comes on at 5 o'clock, right after Q School. Normally, that's usually when we end. And then you got John Solomon at 6 o'clock. As Q says, 6 o'clock can be dangerous. So definitely you stay on top of that. You'll stay on top of the real news that way. And then you can add the Q and Tell board to that kind of news, because news of all forms unlocks the map. But especially John Solomon being involved in the Q drops. And Sarah Carter, who we mentioned 2 weeks ago when she was brought on as the new drug czar for the Trump administration version 2. Sarah Carter is also mentioned in the Q drops. So I mean, it's really wild to see how
coincidence,
right?
Yeah, what a coinkydink, yeah. It's incredible, you guys. So anyway, I guess we could probably go out with Melania, you know, saying like, well, tonight, for example, they're doing a special viewing at the Trump Kennedy Center. That's for basically all the Trump administration and their guests and that are going to be watching the new Melania movie tonight at the Trump Kennedy Center. And then tomorrow it's available in theaters near you. So make sure you get some tickets and go watch that. And we could probably, when you guys are ready, we'll go out with that Melania on the 5 yesterday, 5 loud and clear. It was a nice little interview she did with the guests on the 5 on Fox News yesterday. So
okay,
I'm going to sign off. Bid you farewell, and I'll see you guys either on the chats tonight or definitely tomorrow for a Friday, a wild Friday tomorrow. It's wild Friday tomorrow because, you know, you got the possible government shutdown coming, lurking closer and closer. We'll find out how that unfolds. And then we've got the release of Melania's new movie tomorrow, and whatever else busts out of the news, like more arrests, more fraudulent election stuff coming out. I mean, it's going to be fast and furious, folks. So just stay on the edge of your seats and stay tuned into all your favorite shows, newscasts, and things like that. And we'll meet here, same place, same time. What do you say, Melzie? What do you say, Kyle?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds great, brother. Sounds great. See you, brother.
Thanks.
See ya. Love.
Love ya.
Love. So while we still got everybody, I'm going to show this short little clip from the election vote we were going to have as a closing, but we'll just close with Melania after that. But this video is really good. How to steal a country
it's really
in
short,
basically like 2 minutes here. Yeah. So we'll do this one and then stay and watch Melania afterwards, and we'll close it up, guys. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, this one's good.
Start with a virus, import it into America, talk about it nonstop, call some governors, not them, that's your guys, put patients into nursing homes, kill thousands, blame the president, keep blaming, blame some more, lock down small business, kill the economy, push mail-in voting, stoke a race war, call for riots, pick a candidate, no, not her, yeah, that's more like it, lock him in his basement, shield him from the press. Don't cover this. Don't cover this. Don't cover this. Keep doing that. Ignore the economic recovery. Downplay the world peace. Pump the polls. Pump. Don't stop pumping. Install your software in swing states. That was fast. Take control of polling stations. Call off the election when you're losing. Kick everyone out. Pull out all the extra ballots. Get the software to do its thing. Get the media to say it's over. Call the big tech guys. Ban anyone who notices. Act like the whole thing never happened. stealing the most powerful republic in the world. It's that
easy. Somehow they got cut off there, but yeah, there you go. And make sure y'all check out Melania's trailer. It's 1 minute and 7 seconds, but we're gonna play Melania on the 5. It's about 10 minutes. We're gonna close up and head on out though, so we'll send you off with Melania. I think it's special viewing again. Trump Kennedy Center tonight, and then tomorrow night. Make sure y'all go support them. The left's already trying to spin the narrative. Oh, their seats aren't full. This shows the desperation. They're just so obsessed with everything Trump. But you know what this is, guys? It's operations, because it's that social proof. That's what the media does. They zoom in on something tiny and make it seem like it's big. And that's Q talks about that social proof. People want to feel like they're part of the majority. It's this like survival instinct that I guess the human surface humans have. But you know what I mean? We want to feel like the majority. It feels like you're right and stuff. So they're pushing really hard that people aren't supporting Trump and everybody's had it with ICE, you know, and it's totally bogus, right? And they're spending that. So they're so desperate that, I mean, like they're trying to compare it to pre-sales for a Marvel movie or some shit. This is the First Lady's documentary night, and they're freaking out about it. And so y'all go support it on I think we're gonna try to watch that Friday night too. So go support the First Lady, since the retards are gonna try to spin the narrative. It's gonna blow up right in their face. I'm sure it's gonna do awesome. Again, it's just a documentary, it's a documentary about Q Team and our beautiful First Lady. So love.
I mean, Melania really hasn't spoken much, so I think that this will be such a great insight into you know, who she is.
Yeah.
And she's such a mystery and such a, you know, a calm, you know, anyways, we love Melania, and I think it'll be great. And you know, Melania speaks. Who doesn't want to go see that?
Yeah, behind the scenes look again at Q Team.
You know, they're going to be there too, because they want to see as well.
Yeah, I like that. She's the calm. So it sounds like she might be the calm before the storm.
That's right.
All right, guys. Love y'all. We'll see y'all. Enjoy Melania, and we're going to close up at the end of this, though. So 10 minutes of beautiful Melania on the 5. Love you guys. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday. Let's go. Where'd she go?
First Lady Melania Trump ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange ahead of her silver screen debut. Melania hit theaters this Friday, taking us inside the 20 days leading up to her husband's inauguration. Roll it, Buster.
On January 30th.
Everyone wants to know, so here it is.
20 days in her life.
I will move forward with purpose and, of course, with style.
Witness history in the making.
I feel energized to serve the American people. Here we go again.
Don't put that on tape, please.
Please do.
And Melania joins us now. I want to ask the first question, and then we'll go around the table. Mrs. Trump. That's what you call her, Jesse.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So
I haven't been briefed.
I look at your life, and that you probably never saw this trajectory coming, and it reminds me of my own marriage. When my wife met me, I was just a magazine editor living in London. And she had no idea where I was going to end up. And sometimes I think she wonders why. Or because she certainly doesn't care about my career as much as she should. Do you feel that way too? What's your relationship with the president not knowing he was going to be president?
Well, I always thought, you know, that one day he might go and run. Mm-hmm. And I always told him, if you do it, you will win. Because I knew how much people loved him. Mm-hmm. So, and here we are again.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So he's running again.
Here we are again, the second time.
Yes,
so.
About time. Jesse, do you have a question?
So the final 20 days, mm-hmm. Your husband was having a lot of fun. He was serving fries at the McDonald's. He was, you know, dressing up as the garbage man with the vest on and doing the YMCA. When he's doing the YMCA, he says you don't like it. How do you feel?
I like it at the certain times.
Okay.
Some days was not appropriate, and I told him so. But it's his dance, and I think people love it. People in sport all around the world, they're dancing, and it's a great atmosphere when he does. So brings happiness and fun, as well as serious as you need to be as well. So I think he's doing just fine.
You've never done the Y, have you?
I did.
You did?
I saw her do it.
Was that on
A little bit,
the inauguration night?
Correct. It's different than his.
And it's so funny, Jessica. He is such a better dancer than Barack Hussein Obama.
When you put it that way, yeah, I had noticed that. It's great to have you. Something struck me in the trailer. So the president is standing there and gets asked, what will your legacy be? What's your focus for the second term? And he says, I want to be remembered as a peacemaker. And you added, and unifier. And I'm curious as to what role you play in that, or what your designs are for how you can help facilitate that, because there's no question that the country needs a lot of unifying at this moment.
Yes, it does, but I think he's unifier. He's unifier not just here, United States, but around the world. He stopped many wars, and as well here in United States, it's a lot of opposition. And that's the problem, right? So the people are not agreeing with everything what he does, and they just need to come on the same page and see that he wants to make America only safer and better.
Hear that, Jessica? Just come
Well,
on to
Greg's
the
been
side.
telling me that. I don't know why.
I wanted to ask about the process of the movie. So you've written books, and
Yes.
the last time we had a chance to see you, had written the book. But you had a very hands-on approach to this documentary. And what was it like being a part of that, promoting that? Now you're promoting it, but you were also part of the production team.
Well, I led the production, and I had a great team around me and a very talented director. But, that was my life. So whatever I did, the cameras were following me. So from morning till evening, and everything what I needed to do, organizing, moving back to the White House, my family, preparing for inauguration, my business, my philanthropy. So all in all, establishing the East Wing office, hiring people. So all you will see that in 20 days. So it's day to night. It's nothing that you do a double take, because you cannot do that. We have so many people around. I have Secret Service, and it's a big production, whatever you do. So one take and you go.
Was there any Secret Service agent who was like trying to get into the scene?
No, they're very professional.
Yeah. Was there anything that was caught on camera that you wished hadn't?
Yeah, tell us that right now on television.
I will give a scoop out.
So my whole family was so excited for you to be here, and your kids kind of live this journey with you. And President Trump met my daughter Blake when she was just a tiny little baby, and today she was asking about the First Lady. So I showed her your picture. She thought you were a princess. My son Nash, who's 3 years old, looked at your picture and goes, "Whoa!" So thank you for creating a movie I can take them to. It's PG, so it's a family affair. But I'm wondering, because Barron's walked this journey with you through the first term, through the second term, now a movie. What was that like for him? What is it like for him now, being in college?
It's very different. He's 19, almost 20 years old. I'm very proud of him, and he's an incredible young man. He understands now. He's involved. He knows what's going on in the world. He talks with his dad. He talks with me. He was very involved in the campaign. He gave him all of the ideas, who he needs to talk to, all of these YouTubers and, podcasts. So he was really a smart mind behind it.
You mentioned the director. That's Brett Ratner?
Brett Ratner.
Yeah. How did that go? He hasn't been involved in movies in a couple of years. How was that relationship?
Very good. He was very talented. I know that, and box offices could tell you, right, that he was very talented. And we had other suggestions and looking into it, and he was the one that I said, the most important is that he puts out my idea, what I have, and cinematic film that I want to achieve. So he was the best one, and he was great to work with.
Did the president get involved in any of the production or editing?
No.
Not at all.
No, he saw the movie first day on Saturday.
And he loved it.
Loved it.
Can I ask a question I've been dying to ask?
Yes.
But you're going to think that it's kind of, you all might think it's a kind of a weird question, but I've always been curious, what is your favorite time of day? Like, are you a morning person, late night?
Favorite, it's morning. Very early morning.
I knew
Quiet. You get ready for the day. You go, have a coffee, and you start reading and organizing the day, checking all the emails, preparing for the day. I like the best mornings.
I would love to ask, you have just an accelerant on you in the second term. The Take It Down Act, you went to Capitol Hill, you got that passed. You're in the Rose Garden. Foster children, fostering the future, AI. I mean, what haven't you done? Diplomacy on the world stage with Vladimir Putin. And I heard you mention to Ainsley that you have more legislation coming out.
Yes,
I don't know if you want to preview that here or just say, what's the difference?
Not yet. I'm working, and I think I will have a lot of support, like I had it with the previous one. So, but I'm working also reuniting more children.
Wow.
I think we will have a success. I'm still in talks, so that's exciting. That's, for me, it's very satisfying because, you're bringing children home.
Absolutely.
Well, if you want to break any news at 8 o'clock Eastern, you can always come on
Stick
the show.
around.
That's good.
Baron wants to
She's
come
a
on
morning
the show.
person, so she could come on America's Newsroom.
What do you hope that people know about you that they didn't before from seeing the movie?
I think in every scene they will see how I work, who I am, how I communicate with people, and they will know me a little bit more. They know I'm a very private person, and I'm a very selective person, what I do, what I don't do, when I talk, when I don't talk. And that's my choice, and nobody is in charge of me, and I'm not in charge of anybody else.
If this is a huge success, will there be a sequel?
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, Melania with a vengeance. Melania.
From the
Electric
White House.
Boogaloo.
From the White House.
From the White House.
How about mornings
like
with
that.
Melania?
Yes, I like that.
Stay tuned.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
First
you.
Lady.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Go check out Melania this Friday. Coming in.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow, Friday. Let's go.